Hey everybody, I am on for the Midweek Message Reveal Wednesday, November 27th. Thank you for being here with me. And I guess I just want to talk a little bit about the collective energy and what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing, and what I feel will help. So first off, Pluto moving into Aquarius for an extremely significant chunk of time when we have been in Capricorn energy for the last like 20 something years is a significant shift. But Pluto is also a generational planet, not a personal one. That's not to say that should you that Pluto isn't important, or that the sign and planet in which your Pluto is in and house and all of that stuff isn't important. What I'm saying is that the fear around it, as well as the fact that we are now in Mercury retrograde as of the 25th, which will be with us through December 15th, which is in Sagittarius. There's a lot of energy and doom and gloom stuff that's going on. It's adding to the overall doom and gloom of just life in general. And I'm a realist. It's like, yes, reincarnation, but somebody still has to scrub the toilet. Like that's the spirituality world that I live in. I live in the real spirituality world of this time. And I feel that a lot of you who have been here with me for a while, and those of you that are new, are kind of in the same boat. What's important is to see transits and shifts and energy for what it is. It is something that changes. It's meant to change. It's meant to influence. It's meant to agitate. It's meant to calm. It's meant to soothe. It's meant to block. It's meant to open. It's all of the prepositional phrases that you could come up with. That is what the energy does. But that is the purpose of universal law. The purpose of the universe itself is to come into balance and also be open to when it gets kicked out of balance, to reframe, reflect, review, which is the whole point of retrogrades, to look back and see, to course correct, and to continue on. And if you look at it from that perspective, it's not as damning. Don't get me wrong. I am a queer woman in America. There's a lot of shit that's going on. And many of you are like me. And many of you love people like me. And many of you have best friends and family that are like me and others. There are people in the world that are concerned about what it is that's going to go down. And the thing is that there isn't... It starts here. If you don't know where to begin here. With you. You got to get right with you. And when you change the focus from external to see what everyone else is doing, saying, thinking, to how am I feeling? What is it that I am passionate about? What is it that I care about? What is it that I feel desire for? What is it that I want to create? That is where you begin. Because through that, you attract people that want to assist, energy that wants to allow, things that want to open and shift instead of block, 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 or only paying attention to the blocks and the obstacles and the challenges leaves you unable to cultivate your own energy. So it's scattered. And of course, you feel all kinds of ways about all of the things. What you have to consider is that we have an access to such information in the world that we, 100 years ago, if there was a war that happened, you would never even know about it. If something exploded in 2 towns over, you wouldn't have known about it. That has changed. So you have to consider the perspective that we're in here, the advantage. In Aquarius energy, when we're moving with Pluto, and the US is currently experiencing its Pluto return, which is a energy of transformation and upheaval, paired with Aquarian energy, is going to ask for structures to be revamped and restructured. Ask for technology to step in, and how do we make it for the people? How do we, the people, express ourselves through these new structures and through this new technology and through these new innovations? And how do we make it work for us and work for everyone for the greatest good? And those are big, huge questions that I don't have the answers to. You don't have the answers to. But inside myself is an energy of, I've been here before, I've done it before, I'm here for a reason, and so are you. And I guess you gotta lead with that. And I know it's hard. And I don't have all of the things to say. I don't have the path laid out. But I do know that I wouldn't be here if I wasn't supposed to be. And I do know that I'm here to help create the community that I think we all need to participate in my little bubble of a community. What does yours look like? Will it become bigger? Will it grow and shift and change? And those are the things that I think we need to lean on now, is each other. And we need to check in on one another. And we need to build a community that we want to be a part of and that we want to grow within, because this is the time to create amazing new structures. We don't have rules for this yet. Make it what you will. Okay, I'm going to jump into the readings. As always, would love to work with you. Please check my website for options on how we can do that together. Send me a message. Let me know what it is you're thinking about. Would love to hear any questions that you have, topics and stuff that you'd like me to cover. I'm going to be creating all kinds of content and stuff here that I'm going to be sharing, and would love some input. So please feel free to reach out. Okay. 1. If you chose 1. Connecting with your energy 1, there's really a feeling of being rooted in place. And you're being rooted in place in order to feel more of your own essence. I'm trying to say that a different way. When you tap into who you are, when you tap into your inner knowing and your sense of worth and your sense of self, there's almost like a dropping sensation with you 1. And it's almost a, how deep does this go? And afraid of the deepness. That depth is there because it's meant to be explored. And some of the reason why it feels like you're in a holding pattern is because you're not to move yet from this space until you're able to kind of turn within. So similar to what I was saying before about how that gaze outward and taking stock of everything that's happening around you requires your attention and your energy to move away from you. It's difficult for you to be able to do anything with the information that you're receiving energetically, because you cannot return to the body and give itself it's like literally being put on like a charger. You can't top yourself up if you're flying all over the place. I'm seeing that part in Willy Wonka where Mike TV's, the Wonka bar is over your head in a million pieces. It has to be put back together, and that takes time. It's much more simple to turn inward and allow yourself space and time to let what it is you're feeling and experiencing truly sink in before you try and do something else. That's why whenever you're looking to do something else, trying to make a move, trying to get ahead, trying to come up with a new plan, there's a lot of no, not yet. Stick with the word yet, because it doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just the timeline is not necessarily something that you can control yet. And you can control that timeline. You're kind of in an incubation stage where you need to kind of sit and think and feel. You're connecting back. There's a lot of deja vu that's going on for you as well. Very common with Mercury retrograde. But remember, retrogrades are not meant to be scary. They're meant to reflect and to redirect, meant to allow you information so you can course correct. And that will be seen throughout all of the readings, is where is it that you can take the moment and say, okay, this isn't necessarily where I thought things were going to go. And there are feelings coming up around this and the time frame and things. Where can I find within myself that anchored knowing that this too shall pass, and that when the time is right, I'll know, and that when things are ready to move, I will be moving with it. And I know this. Just a little bit of faith is needed here for you guys. Okay? All right, moving on to 2. If you chose 2, connecting with your energy 2. I feel a lot of tension in the third eye, and actually it's like moving around to the side of the face underneath the cheekbones. So there may be there's grief that you're processing through that's actually moving out of your system. Again, I am not a medical doctor. This is just an energetic connection that I have when I feel the collective body. And please seek a medical professional if you are not well. Disclaimer. Yet there is there's a lot of congestion that's going on, and this congestion is literally kind of allowing that sort of wet, heavy grief, sadness exit. And there's a desire to see this through. I'm hearing see this through. So the path that you're currently on, the thing that you need to see through, it will yield a different result than what you're looking for. That's not to say it's a good or a bad thing. That's not to say it won't go well. That's not what I'm saying. It's just going to feel different than what you expect once you get to the end of this. And that time period, 3 to 6 weeks, that 3 to 6 week time period is when you're going to be gaining more information about seeing this thing through. And once you're on the other side of it, you'll have more clarity about what you're feeling right now. And that feeling is like you're kind of off, but like your antennas are up. Like I'm seeing like a spider web, and it's being tapped in order to say, hey, down here. But it doesn't necessarily feel familiar. And at the same time, it's reminding you of a situation that you've been in the past. This is different, yet the feelings around it feel very similar. That's because the situation is not the same. It's the feeling. There's a root feeling of needing to understand why things went the way they did in order for you to move on. Just know that the this is it moment, when you see things through here, that's the part that might not be as satisfying. It's going to be more curious because it'll just add another layer. And that's what awakening and awareness and all of the things are. Getting to know yourself, getting to expand, getting to be your best you, is learning that there are more layers than you realized to everything you feel, think, and experience. And through those changes, you learn more and more about yourself. Therein, learning more and more about the world and more about other people. And you become a beacon for others who can see and learn from what you yourself have gone through. Document this in some way. You've been wanting to write things down. You've been wanting to vlog or keep some sort of, document that you can add to a living document. Do it. Look back on it. Things will be clearer. They always are. All right, moving on to 3. If you chose 3. Ooh, Ganesha. Okay. For those of you in 3, you're going through a clearing. And I mean that in a way that there are things that don't jive with you anymore. You're finding that tastes are different, literal tastes, smells, textures. It's very tactile. Um, there are different ways of processing as well. You're finding that you're not needing as much time to understand things within yourself as you have in the past. It's almost like the information is just kind of coming straight through. And that information is very much connected to your intuition, and it's very much designed for you to work with your inner playbook. So when you interact with your guides, your intuition, your higher self, you're given almost metaphors, images, symbols, and these things stand for something. If you think of if you think of a dove, okay, a dove, it is white and pure, and white is the color of purity for whatever reason, and then the concept of the dove being, a bringer of peace, a symbol of connectivity and goodwill. Very similar to that. You're going to start to have repeating images or feelings or just random stuff that kind of comes in and go, what does that mean? Now, for me, I have my own playbook that my people work with me on. And I've started to learn that there are certain things mean certain things. Like when I see Wizard of Oz, I know that we're talking about the fact that Dorothy had it all within her. That the journey in itself was a learning experience, but it was more a journey of learning who she was, and also understanding that she, in her empowerment, if she were to claim it, could leave and have the power to go and do whatever she wanted to at any point. You have your own playbook. You have your own symbolism, your own metaphors that mean certain things, and you're going to start to experience that now. Some of that comes through in dreams, so the dreams may be a bit wonky and a bit different. You also might be experiencing people from your past that are coming up, either through being like, I'm seeing some people are like tagged in something, and that somebody else is also tagged that you haven't been connected to, or that you might also know people are kind of like extra different, where you're like, who is this? That I haven't seen in a minute, or a name you haven't connected to in a while. And it brings you back to a different version of yourself. Some of this is for you to kind of collect the different versions of you, to look at them and say, hey, thank you for being who and what you were in order for me to be who and what I am. And that level of gratitude and sending back that appreciation for the things that you've gone through will be the thing that will help hone in that intuition moving forward. That clarity will become much more clear. Your ability to lean into your own knowing will feel less daunting and less like a risk and more like a gut feeling. Trust that. All right. And 4. You chose 4. Connecting with your energy 4, I'm seeing actually a butterfly. And it's very purpley, which connects to the intuition, the crown chakra, and the third eye. And there is a feeling of reaching the end stage of something to where you actually are getting use of the wings that you've had, but they've been sticky and wet. So you've been in a stage where you can see yourself looking like you can jump off. Just like a bird that gets kicked out of the nest, right? You don't know until you find out. You don't know until you do it. You're at almost past the part where you know you can do it. You're just used to being in a state of waiting. And that waiting stage is moving. Now, with retrograde, it's bringing back all of the things that kind of trip you up in the past or tripped you up in the past. Maybe it's some behaviors. Maybe it's some people or some drama caused by said people. Maybe it is for some. It's like functionality of things that are breaking down, literally, things that need to be repaired, things that need to be attended to. And this overwhelm can kind of make you feel like you can't possibly go flying yet. You've got too much to take care of. Maybe in a physical way, but your psyche, your spirit, your soul, your emotional self is excited to have a new opportunity and have a new experience, even if it isn't a sure thing. And that level of risk is where you're learning to trust not only yourself, but that the universe will provide for you. There are difficulties in every path. Don't think that choosing the one you did versus the one you could have, or the many millions of decisions you could have made in the past, those other paths, would have been easier or better or more in alignment than what you're in right now. You're exactly where you need to be. And for some of you, that feels good. And for some of you, that does not feel good. But just know the balance will come to where you feel confident in your ability to pivot should you need to and when you need to. And also the understanding and support of people that truly love and care for you, because you're spending more time expressing your vulnerable self. You're spending more time actually saying what it is that you think and feel. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on in your world, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to handle this or get through it. But you do need to speak up and say, hey, I could use a hand. Hey, you think you can help me out here? Hey, you're going to need to really lean on your community. And that's really where the energy needs to go, is into making sure that your support system is there. If you don't have one, trying to find one, or allowing yourself the space to open up and explore and research and find people who are like-minded, find people who are interested in the same things you are, people who are in a similar location or situation as you, and using your voice in order to create that community and connection. This is where you get the wind under your wings to move you and give you that gust to push you forward where you feel that support. You're not alone in this. You are very much prepared and supported to move forward. Just baby step it, okay? Because you're learning. You're learning again. These are different wings. All right? All right. Would love to hear how the readings landed for you, so please leave me some feedback. Would love to work with you, so please reach out at my website, check me out, send me a message, email me, DM me, whatever. Would love to create a custom session with you and work with you and delve a little bit further. I'm interested in creating more community here, so please make sure that you are staying in touch with me. Like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends and those people that would also like to be a part of things, because this is a time. This is a time where we figure out how to move through as a group of authentic mofos. Be your authentic mofo self. Just know I hear you, I see you, I care for you, and I am grateful. I am grateful for who you are. That's it. I hope you have a happy holiday for those of you that celebrate. Know that I am grateful for you and that I will see you soon. So, peace.